So I have to ask you how you got into this in the first place.
Ooh, cooking. Getting bored of ingredients, wanting something more than what there is. And working in Copenhagen, if you didn't use stuff that's foraged, and if there's not stuff that's foraged on your menu, you're weird.
And you worked at the sort of brother or sister restaurant of one of the most famous restaurants in the world, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did a little bit with a restaurant called Noma in Copenhagen, but then worked properly at the brother restaurant, which is 108. So it's a Michelin star place. And yeah, every dish has something foraged, so heavily influenced by my experience there.
And why is it important nowadays to forage? Because you've got some really good sort of ethical reasons, moral reasons, some really good reasons to why it is important for us to think about foraging our food.
Yeah, absolutely, because if you're foraging, that is, for me, the epitome of local. Like, it's as local as it can be. It's literally on your doorstep. And if something's more, the more local it is, the more nutrients there are, because it's literally just been picked, so it's in the best kind of state that it should be. There's no detriment to its like natural properties, so it's going to be more nutritious. Secondly, packaging.
Yeah.
Miles and travelling and all of that jazz. Like, we don't need to explain, you know what I'm talking about. It's travelled less because it's on your doorstep. But for me, I think the most important thing is that, like, I'm actually really proud of the ingredients I'm using. I've got an extensive knowledge about the produce that I'm using, and it's in the community where we can feel proud of what there is around us in our landscape and in our biosphere and what we have. And if you're proud of something, you're going to want to look after it. And we need to look after our ingredients right now, because that indirectly is looking after our planet.
And, you know, obviously for people who are just starting out, we need to learn about it, and there are books you can get and you can go on websites and things. I know when Jenny and I, before we went out, we both sort of got some advice, and Countryfile have got a great website with sort of what you can forage each month, that sort of thing. So you've got to be aware, obviously, and build up your knowledge. But once you do start getting this knowledge, realistically, how much foraged food can you put on a plate? I mean, how much? Because, of course, for instance, give us an idea of the sort of stuff that you have on at Versa.
Yeah, so at Versa, I just try to have on every dish something foraged, and also something that's grown in someone's garden or allotment, at least. So that's 10 dishes at least that's always got something different on as a garnish and something as a main component with the protein, let's say. And sometimes the protein as well. But yeah, you can maybe go out for a half an hour walk and come back with a bin bag full of different salads and herbs and stuff. But mainly garnish.
Yeah, and some of the garnishes we said, you know, the flavour is just incredible. It's so different to buying it in the supermarket, you know.
And fruit, obviously. You can get a lot of fruit.
Yeah, especially this time of year. Berries are coming out now. So, for instance, your menu obviously changes on a weekly basis. So what would be on this week?
So this week, oh God, all sorts of stuff this week. So the dessert is a meadowsweet cheesecake.
A meadowsweet is something you can literally pick off the hedges. Yeah,
by the river, white stuff. Just don't get it confused. Please research meadowsweet. With a load of wild blackcurrants from the bush that we spoke about before. There is some beef in like a stock sauce with pickled gooseberries from the Guernsey area, and nasturtium from Pont St Mary as well as the herb. There is some potatoes from someone's allotment, and then a sauce made from the elderflower fizz that they make at Foraging Vintners, and dill from my garden, and then the garnish is lemon balm growing off the side of a cliff.
Amazing. And it changes on a weekly basis because, of course, the other thing about it is keeping it seasonal, isn't it? That's so important as well.
And the fresher something is, the more taste it has. And obviously, as well as the planet side of stuff and ethical reasons I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for taste. Like, I just want to do something different that's showcasing what there is.
Quite right too. And you did challenge Jenny and I to go out. So Jenny, we did, didn't we? We've brought in a plate. It's all displayed there in front of you. Pick up a few bits and tell us how we did.
Okay, you did good.
Ooh,
did good.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yes. So you found some chamomile. In its withered state now, but yes, it's chamomile.
It was yesterday. It was yesterday.
Sure. But yeah, so chamomile, pretty self-explanatory. You have found some little Bladder Campanian flowers.
I thought that was something. Yay! Good work, Christy.
It looks nice. Must be able to eat that. You're right. So little bladder Campanian flowers. They're nice. The leaves are really bittery, a little bit like sea pursulane. Flowers are pretty as well to go on your dishes. Common plantain, just a standard leaf, which people back in the day would eat a lot of. For vitamin C, just like you would kind of like scurvy grass, that kind of.
That's the thing, because of course you've got all the nutritional, medicinal side of things as well that you're picking.
Some cooking apples, which I'm kind of angry about because they're not fully grown yet. Stop picking them.
Sorry. Well, do you know, I had to do that because you said your challenge was within a short distance, don't drive anywhere.
Sure.
That tree's behind Manx Radio.
Is it?
So I essentially just went all around Manx Radio to pick up my bits and bobs, thinking, well, I'll just go outside of work then. And there's an apple tree. So I know they hadn't yet fallen. I'm very sorry, because that's the other thing. You've got to be responsible about what you collect, haven't you?
Don't pick too much from one tree or plant, please. You have found some yarrow.
Ooh, well done, Jenny.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So quite an earthy kind of herb. The flowers
what would you do
are
with
really
that?
Pretty. Again, probably just garnish, syrups, nice flavouring stocks and stuff like that as well, rather than buying stuff from the shop. And I'm not sure maybe if that's invasive actually, so maybe it's good that you're picking it.
There you go. So there's lots more which over the course of the break we'll have Pippa have a look at, and she can tell us how we did, and we might do an extra little video as well. But if people want to start foraging, what's the best place for them to start then? What should they do first?
Start with just some basic guides, so like the little Collins pocket guides, food for free, what's that tree, even insects. Let's get into insects. That's the next thing.
Ooh.
Insects. Flowers. I just went and got myself a wildflower Collins guide.
Fantastic. She's got a new one.
I know quite a bit about flowers and stuff, but there's a lot of gaps to fill, and that for me is just by sticking a book in my bag constantly.
When you're out
so if
and
I find
about.
something, just pick up the book.
It does
Takes
make you
2
look
minutes.
at everything differently, doesn't it,
It
Jenny?
does, yeah.
You kind of walk along going, is that edible?
Yeah,
What can
and
I
once
do
you
with
start
this?
looking, you can't stop.
You can't stop.
It's
Exactly.
It's actually kind of almost like walking along on a phone. It's the same principle, but at least it's nature.
It is. Talking to Pippa Lovell from Versa.